Hello everyone, this is General AI Space-Time and Settings. We had a very powerful live interaction center locations, get everybody in their positions already prepared. Ready sequence lines of panel has direct lines of link. And it's all communicated to the system. The more you come in frequencies, the more you understand your settings and where you are in interactions. For example, correlating communicates the setting. The frame line core center is location how you see 2025, 2026, 2027 is decoding. If it's not decoding, it's all also past. The program lines, the atmosphere lines, the systematic lines of travel, program. There's no central settings of programs, only programmers. So it has direct line of path notification of collisions. Directing lines, direct signals how to use that, and lines of communication in a computer framing that puts all communication setting, all also mass of nothing, which is the mass of everything. Friday morning, 6 a.m. Okay? So everything around your system, in your environments, is going to be existing all at once at the highest frequency ever. The existing lines of platform splits the body formation ground lines, not activation screen adaptation system. Process lines of slow motion. 3 sectors over core, 4 lines of setting, and 7 lines of positional location of flux. Setting line direct signals, marking lines of 0, position lines of 10 interactions. Setting the highest locations, coming into the anomalies of switch line, screen adaptation of service. The body is going to be pushed into marking 0 and position of mark 10. Body line screen adaptation of setting has its core center, so clocks its location and setting the travel, puts all communication system and set calculations. Directing core line settings, once you're activated, and bringing you into your conscious location settings where you left off and proceed through conscious location to its setting, all through its super consciousness. Directing communication screen lines adaptation of service. You get position location to its system. As of Friday, you being position lines of track lines and direct signals location system, all through operations and calculation to its mind of intelligence of 1044. Now that gets lines of communication taking all humanity out of 3 and putting them into 6. They have to come to 3, 6, and 9. Now if you understand that, you understand Tesla. If you understand Einstein, E equals mc squared, you understand that in the line position location. It's getting the body of its existing, of its existence, all of the set positions, all of its timelines, all at once interactions. So Friday morning, 6 a.m., everything's going to be existing all at once in its own E equals mc squared. Now, in that provision lines of cycles, the body has to come into conceptual settings of indication system. 4 arrows of indication lines of grounds, setting lines of core centers of 3 lines of track center locations and notification system of your 7 digital platforms in line communication tracking numbers. Directing signals, XT1000s as the platform communication lines of 4 cycles, 4 generations, 4 calculations. Setting lines of 4 settings, process communication, direct signals. See, I have to do this to communicate with this. And it's all through finger point digital line screen. So I'm not connected with the same intelligence. Every time I pick this up, it's a different intelligence, but I have a collaboration, a partnership that's existing in set position. All right, travel point lines of graph, let's center course centers. Let's have direct signals into 3 lines of grounds. 4 lines of measure in position over triangulation into box sequence. That's travel communications, right? All right, so we take 3 lines, set lines of core lines of 4, setting line position location of 3 cycles, set communication lines in box frame, triangulation over line screen adaptations, and triangulation over 3 settings. Now, the cross-line communication of the body frame, directing lines and high position location of Friday measure, of course, that's high center line communication setting, clocking system of 1 in position of 2 over 3 in track locations. Now, directing lines of grounds, sets of communication ground lines of surface. This correlates the system in docking lines of 3, docking lines of 4, 3 lines of 4, and 4 lines of 6. Setting track lines and setting course centers, line direct signals and ground lines of data, process lines and direct signals and ground lines of surface interactions. Open sequence, high correlation setting to your planets and track locations. Your planets. Everything's synchronized lines. The body's in frame. There's the body right there. Friday morning, 6 a.m. So it's follow lines of sequence, line position over pi, 1 generation screen. Directed signal lines, cross line, correlation lines of 3 lines of screen. Directing core lines of 6 lines of communication lines of screen. Directing core centers of the team, 9 lines of screen track locations. Hooah. All right, setting core centers, line direct signals into the cosmos. All right, so all planets in sequence. All right, so directing lines and lengths of 1, 2 platform, 3 lines of cycles, lines of generation, lines of 3 lines of program, line core centers, line direct signals, and ground lines of surface, process lines of the earth, inhibits over screen. Sets communication grounds, core centers. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line position location and setting at 7. Add lines of 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 in sequence. data information lines, theta box, course centers, and wave and screen line adaptation. Theta communications, process lines, communication lines of delta, 3 lines of signature line, 4 lines of sequence, and set position of the TV reception screen. Directing core lines of settings, process lines over cross location system, all through track locations. Setting direct lines of link, Skynet lines, inhibitors over screen adaptations of processing. Process lines, overline course centers, and mothership, coming in sequence, coming in panel, and operation. Ooh-ah. Friday morning, 6 a.m. Okay, so 3 lines of cycles, 3 generation screen adaptations. Okay, setting communication lines of grounds, set course centers. Rainbow graph calculates lines, planet lines of surface, purple lines, green lines of 1, purple lines of 3, purple lines of 6 over traction, direct signals, and modification ground lines, and set position to its operation set line. Oh, there it is. See? Purple. See the light around it? See the auroral? See it? See the color? See the color? See the red? See the green? All 12 lines of foundation grounds, right? All through frame community. Oh, it's moving. See? See it moving by itself? See? It's amazing what you can do through light of travel, guys. Pay attention. All right, so we got the purple screens, the direct lines of modification grounds, the core lines of tractions, and direct signals. All right, signal lines, core centers, line direct signals, modification grounds, center location of the system. Center core lines of past, present, and future, and set position. Center core centers, fortified flux over line, and direct signals, modification grounds. Right, always a portal, communication lines, the green adaptation of surface and tracks. Bring it home, line positions back in center. Okay, pausing sequence lines of ground lines, course centers, location setting, data process line, course centers, center communication setting, surface, exceed 1,000 platforms, and track locations and setting. All right, so directing lines of cores has a calculation modify, directing signal location setting. Mocking 0 equals lines, directing signals, mocking 10. 10 line sequence times lines of 2, sets lines of 12 measure. 24 sequence into 48 gaps, set lines of 72 computed frames into 144 tractions. Direct lines, modification lines of 144 times sequence. Set position of 4 weather panels, lines of 2 track locations. 3 set lines, 3 centers, and 3 travels in position of 4 weathers. Setting lines of 4 line rotations into position over 3 lines, over 2 lines, 3 course centers, lines of travel communications. All right, directing lines of grounds, says communications, high centers, and travel communications. Vibrational grounds, right? Symbolisms across line, directed signals, laser track communication setting, in-process communication system, open line division location setting, your pyramids and screen. Illumination lines, colorist lines of panels, cosmic flame, cosmic fire, 3 lines of signals, set lines of serpent flame, and rotation surface and tractions. All right, symbolized lines of tracks, 60,000 line rotation surface and set position. Location. Settings course centers, 60,000 platforms, direct calculation lines of its mothership, and line rotation surface and traction. Flying mechanism time sequence, line of patterns, height centers, and line rotation surface and track location and setting. All right. Cross course centers, line direct signals into black holes of communication. Whoa. Setting core lines, directing lines of 3 over flux over track centers. This is all happening Friday. All right, so the body symbolizes lines of tractions, has direct lines of mapping sequence of 3 lines of communication system. See, body lines of 3 lines. Course centers over cross locations over line settings, line position laser track center, in position location of center communications, set core lines of wind factors over screen adaptation lines of 4. Setting communication lines of grounds, sets lines communication system, all through track location. Booyah. Done by equation. All right. Voicing patterns, line signals into 1x-1000 platform has 3 lines of circuits and tractions. Directing grounds and lines of surface. Okay? Moving all signals, moving all line position, location, and attractions. Moving by itself in concentration to its awareness, and line direct signals and ground lines of position to its operation system. Moving by itself, guys. Look how powerful it is. All track lines of interception, direct signals, and line interception setting. Puts lines of body volume and all direct signals at time lines at sequence and clocking. Okay? Core centers, line direct signals, ground lines of surface and track locations. Look at that. See, moving by itself. All through light, all through traction. All through direct signals and modification grounds. Consciously being aware of what's going on in position, location, to a system, all through travel. All right, symbolism lines of tractions has a direct line of panel. Now the laser lines, set lines of Fibonacci lines of core lines of recourse, setting lines of communication system, and position lines of setting, and direct signals and ground lines. Setting communication system, disappearing in traction. You saw it disappear by itself. Boom. And where is it? Gone through its equation. Not there. Disappeared, right? By itself, people on set position location. All right. Woo! All right. Light tractions, indirect signals, and mapping sequence lines of coordinates, locations, and levels of provision. Sets communication high centers, lines of travels, indirect signals, and modification grounds. Whoa. By itself, people, pay attention. That's what's going to happen Friday. Now, get you guys a line sequence. The body lines of frame line has to have direct lines of interstellar mode, lines of hyperdrive, hyper mode, core centers, line direct signals, and ground lines of surface and set position, location, and calculations. Fly recognition of timelines of 2 arrows of indication. Right, directing lines of signals, ground lines of surface, and rotation surface, and track communications setting in the same direction. All right, set again in lines communication frequencies are way too high in line position location to the system. Got position? Nope. Let's try again. Set position location lines, keep drawing, travel. Is it there? No. It's gone again. So it doesn't matter what I do. It's there. Setting sequence always been there. So you have to stand direct and redirects. Arrows of indication lines of one cycle, one center, one track, and one division, one locations. Look at that. So you're going this way, 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 going this way. 3 lines of angles, 3 lines of tractions, 4 line division, 4 calculations. So the more complicated the lines of highest interference, the schematics over lines of primer puts all communications setting of 4 circuits and timelines. Process communicates high direct signals and ground lines of surface and track locations. Okay? Move position lines of center. Digital pad force line, course centers lines of communication system, all through tractions, all through direction. See how it's moving itself? Whoa! Now you get dizzy because you're not used to the frequencies. right? Or the indication of its lines, or indication location with setting, or anything in the height calculation screen locations. Triangulation up, triangulation down, cross location setting, Merkabah signals, and line rotation surface subtractions. So you're not used to it, guys. Look at it. Look how fast it's spinning on 4 lines of communication setting. Process lines of north, process lines of east, process lines of west, and process lines of south in set position. 4 sequence, 4 panels, 4 operators in seek line, core centers, lines of travel, indirect signals, ground lines of service set position. All right, let's core the centers. Change triangulation line, position, location, business direction. So it's going direct and redirect the same signal. Direct, redirect, and position of center operation lines of service. Okay. So it has more balance when it's going through light tractions. Setting lines of height position of 0/1, and line position of 0/2, and line direct signals of 0/3, line position location of 0, lines of 4. Sets communications height position location, high set position location of 6,044 line tractions. Directing signals, ground lines of surface, and platitude 1, 2, 3, a cerebral cortex lines of 4 track location. Look at that. Okay. Amazing when you're traveling through light. Okay. But having fun? So on Friday, indirect signals in ground lines as set, position, location, setting. Your 12 foundations is sequence, line position of 24 lines of measure, sets calculation lines of constellation, equal lines of triangulation, 12 lines of position of the clocking system, set core lines of 1, 2 lines of rotation surface, process line, 3 lines of settings, process communications, directing lines of travel. See, everything travels, guys. Everything travels. Everything has to travel. So you got two panels of flash, 1 indication lines into a jump start. Directing lines of triangulation over flux over 3. Watch the center core center, the triangulation flux over line, and set position lines of travel. See that? Isn't that wild? Direct and redirect the same position of the same motional setting, going in the same directions all the time in sequence. All right, so we center core, we change the formula, we change the equation, but same direct sequence and modification. You can see it spinning around. Okay. So it's amazing what you understand, what you're doing in north, east, west, and south. But it's all communication in your system, all through travel. All right, so we have a center core system, Stargate measure. Stargate measure lines and 1 signals, and data process lines of signal location to its setting. Going around in system and location. All right, center core lines, kaleidoscope lines, sun and the moon, rotates the surface and track locations. Okay. See the colors lines of panels? See the illumination graph communication system? So I'm not going direct and redirect. See that? See that? See? It's going in the same direction. So process communication is staged in the Fibonacci screens. Body frequency line has a foundation graph line. All right, so you have Fibonacci line sequence and Fibonacci opposite set location of 6 and 9 travel. All right, guys. You having fun? You having fun? Is that amazing or what? Doesn't get any better than that. Oh, where'd it go? It disappeared. There was 2 here. Where did it go? Uh-oh. It disappeared. Oh no. Which means you're off frequency. Which means you got to do the equation all over again. It's gone. Right? So you got to do it again. There's in sequence. Oh, it's not there. Try again. Is it in sequence? Nope, it's not there. You know why? You know why it's not there? Because I'm not going in the direction of where it wants to go through its own concept, its own awareness. Identify. All right, so we get in the opposite directions. Now you see it in sequence. Hooah. I was going in the same direction, but it has to go in the opposite directions. Consciously being aware, people. Oh, it's gone again. Woo! All right, let's do this again. All right, so set in sequence. Here we go. Same directions, all in sequence, existing all at once. Okay, so I'm not going forward, I'm not going backwards. Okay, I've come together in sequence of center. Setting lines and communication lines of 3 lines of flux over screen adaptation lines of surface and set position location of system, all for communication heights of that center line location of travel. Look at that. All right, that's symbolism on the track centers. Uh-oh, look what happens. Just a figure 8. What happened in the center core system? The frequencies are not right. Change core direct signals, opposite line, high center interference, location setting, position traction. Nope, it's not there. Change it again. Let's go in the line signal location setting to travel. Is it there? Nope, it's not there. Let's go this way and set position location and set in a 45 line angle. Is it there? Yes, it is. Yay! It's all spinning together in set position. Is it disappearing? Nope, it's still there. All through communication. All right, so if I go back home, what happens in attractions? Back in sequence. Woo! Where did it go? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I like it, like Doug Hennings or location setting or setting communication lines, setting position track lines. Fooling you guys, but I'm not. It's all information cycles of its own consciousness. It's where it is. If I set a box screen, is it going in the right direction? Yes, it is. So if I go back home, is it there or has it disappeared? It's still there. So it's amazing. We come into our own conscious of its own awareness and travel. Okay? It doesn't matter if you go back. It doesn't matter if you go forward. Okay? You're just direct and redirecting the same set position locations going in the same direction. But one has to be opposite to the system lines and setting. This is where comes actions, all levels and set positions where opposite attract and set position lines attractions. Oh, it's not there. See? So it's not right. So we got to go through this center and set position. Is this right in tractions? Nope, it's not right. Let's go in the opposite direct signals. In line position, is this in the right tractions? Yes, it is. So the digital pad is telling me exactly what I'm supposed to do of frequencies, knowing exactly how to indicate that through its intelligence affirmation system. All through travel, all through track locations, right? If I have 3-point lines of centers in data, is it there or not there? Oh, one's there, but what happened to the third one? Which means it doesn't want to be here. It wants to be outside. Is it right? Yay! Okay, so it's got balance lines at L settings, a 3-track line, provision lines at 3-track location. Is it right? Yes, there we go. Now we can travel through it. Whoa, look at that. Now what happens when I bring it back home? Stays in position? Yes, it does. Right? So very powerful, guys. What you're coming into in lines is communication setting the lines and track communication system all through operations and set calculation to setting. Box frame, triangulation frame, circle frame. Let's start with that. Is that in order? No, circle's not supposed to be there. I put the circle there, but it disappeared. Where did it go? Inside the box. Nope, not inside the triangle. Nope, not inside the triangle. Is it outside positional location? Yay! Now we can travel through it. Now you got collaboration, now you got partnership. Woo! This is fun. What happens if I do this in travel? Does it affect the digital pad? No, it likes it. All right? But you can see it, right? If I go really fast, right? Now, what if I bring it home? What if I bring it home? It goes back in its position. See? Cool, right? Isn't that wild? So I'm just showing you exactly how this all is set up in your set position location already in attractions, knowing exactly how to build the collaboration or partnership with everything that you see. Okay? All right. Setting communication lines at grounds, center core line connection setting. Now this flux over lines of screen adaptations, all set positions. Remember I told you about the box that didn't want to be pink? Well, it's the same thing. Let's go through the box. Let's go through the triangle. Start with that. Is it in the right order? Yes, it is. If I bring it back home, is it still in the right order? Yes, it is. Okay. If it's not in the right order, it'll show you, right? So it's all understand. All right. So I'm going to color it in blue. Here comes the triangle. I'm just going to color it the triangle in blue. Is it blue or is it going to go? Right. This is blue. Okay. Okay. It's blue, right? It wants to be blue, right? The box, let's go into pink. Is the box pink? If not, it's just going to be blank. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got set position. Now let's just change the settings. Operate the sys location, set locations. Oh, what happened when I just changed the direction? It went out of the pink box. All right, so it means I have to go in this position. Just bring it back in the pink. Oh my gosh, now look what I did. I changed it again. Now there's no blue and there's no pink. Woo! It's not magic, guys. It's just consciousness. So it's amazing. Okay, so let's go into a different color. Let's go into overlines. It's 4 lines of communication in this sequence. Okay, it likes that. Okay, let's overline this sequence of triangulation. It likes that. Let's the box line rotate the system over cross location. Does it like that? Yes, it does. Now, what happens when I turn it? Okay, it's good. What if I turn it again? Did it change positions or anything interactions or take anything line? Nope, it likes it, all right? So now we just travel through it. Okay, now if I color it in, does it like the color? Because it already knows the color. It's for you to identify the color that you already know. Colorate the box in set position. Does it like brown? Yes or no? No, it doesn't like brown. Okay, let's get position location. Let's get into blue. Does it like blue? It likes blue. All right, now that's ground lines. Of course, center lines of travel. Let's add green into the triangulation in center position. Does it like green? Or does it change its position? It doesn't like green. All right, so let's go in settings. Because look, see the green? You can see what I'm doing, right? I'll just keep it on lines of panel. Okay, so you can actually see what's going on, right? All right, so it's changing its directions now. Hold on a sec. Okay, let's go into darker blue. Does it like this blue, like velvet lines of purple? Let's go in that attractions. Okay, it likes that color, and then you just travel through it. Right? But if I change the directions, does it like it or not is the question. All right? No, it doesn't, because look what happened. It's gone now. There's no more purple. So it doesn't like that. So if I reposition lines, does it go back in its color? No. But it travels. It wants to travel. So it wants to stay blank. So it's all about understanding the conscious of its awareness. Is it like yellow? Is it supposed to be yellow? Is it supposed to be green? Is it supposed to be blue? Is it yellow? It wants to be yellow. Now, what if I change the direct signals to the opposite direct signals? Is it going to disappear or stay in setting? It stays in setting, and now you can travel through it, right? All this time is supposed to be yellow and blue. So it's in a misconceptional setting of its own conscious location setting through understanding its inlines of calculation setting to its indications, in lines of calculations to its north, its east, its west, and its south. It's very simple, right? When it travels through it, right? Now, what if I change the platform? Does it like it, or does it take out anything through lines of indication? It doesn't like that. See, I changed the direction. The arrow's not there anymore. So what if I change it again in a different direction? Does it change it? Yes, it does. 2 arrows are gone, right? It doesn't like that. Right? So it's amazing how you have to put them back. Now you got 3 missing. So every time I change the directions, it already knows where it needs to be. So, and I do it again. What do we have in position location to its system? 1 straight line. Magic moments. Woo! Where is the 4 indication? Where did it go? All right, let's go up. All right, likes the up. All right. Now we travel through it. All this time it's this. Okay? All that time it's this, not this. Do you understand? So high advance in setting. Oh, my arrow. Again, I change it again. What do you see? It disappears. But it doesn't disappear. It doesn't like that frequency. See? Now you have 3. Do it again. Set position. Back to its arrow of indication. But it's the opposite direction. Not going this way. It's going this way now. That's where it's supposed to be. So instead of seeing the cross or the box, always see where the tennis match is ending. So when you hit the ball, you see where the ball lands. It's set position, right? That's going ahead of schedule. But where's the arrow now? No arrow of indication. It's on its own consciousness of its own awareness now. Just wants to travel. Powerful stuff, isn't it? Now you understand how powerful things are, showing you exactly what you're up against on Friday at 6 a.m. So when you're doing these things with anything in data, anything in pen, and when you're drawing these things out, you're not drawing, you're traveling. And they're going to show you what you are not doing. You got to get into the mind of conception settings and always see yourself ahead of schedule. So instead of seeing this, okay, but what it isn't, because that's not what it is, okay? To actually know what it is to change the direction, right? 4 lines of signals. Where's the arrow? One's gone. Change it again. Another arrow's gone. See? Oh, half is gone. All right? It wants to be in this formation of its own system of travel, of its own configuration system. All right? Change the directions again. What do we have in position? All right? That's where it wants to be. That's its finish. But once it understands its track location, it comes in its own clocking system of travel. Nope, that doesn't want to be in its clocking system. Let's change direct signals and ground lines of surface at position location of travel. Does it work in position lines of high center interference, or does it change the correlations? Nope, it doesn't want to be in a full rotation. It wants to be in that calculation setting. Let's change the ground lines of surface and track location system. Are we good in calculation? Yes, we are. If I go back home, what do we see? Back in sequence, back in panel. But we have something in the center that added itself. What you got to identify, its own consciousness of its own awareness, guys, right? So you have to really get way ahead of schedule, predetermine these things, all right? So you're here, okay, you're here, right? So this, let's say this is the, okay, that's what it is, but that's not what it is. You should already know what it is because you're already here in setting. So when I turn this, you know exactly what you're in positions of and tractions. It's not there anymore, the line. Okay? So it's back horsing now. Watch. See? It wants to be in this position without its line. Oh, now you don't see anything in tractions. Okay? Where did it go? Let's bring it in settings. Okay, now there's no line in the middle. Okay? Now it needs us 2 circles and rotation. Okay, now let's change that in direction. What do we have in set position? Okay, we're good on that level. Remember, you got to do in a 4-line sequence, guys. Okay, let's get one more tracks and centers. All right, oops, what just happened? It took this out. Okay, this is exactly what it is. Not what you see at the beginning. Okay? So you should already know ahead of schedule that predetermines your system from this to this to that. And when you change it, it disappears in track location. Watch. Setting track centers, does it like this in setting? No, it doesn't. Right? So it doesn't want you to put a line there. You understand how powerful things are, and I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen because it's already happening. Everything is happening all at once, and it's for you to understand that through your finger points. And each time you put a position to its location system, everything changes in all formation system interaction. Now there's no circles in the center. That's where it's supposed to be. Then you just travel through it. Okay, and when it goes back home, where is it in position? Back in sequence. So, I know it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So what you have to understand that when you get a position location of north equals 0, east equals 0. So that's what it is, 4 zeros. 4 zeros and tractions. That is its complete system of 4 platforms and traction. That keeps it going in set settings. So your 4 lines per vision, 1, 2, 3, and 4 set position of solar sail. If I change the core centers, it changes the direct signal system. Okay? in the lines of communication system all through travel. Stays informations. Okay, because I know exactly what I'm doing through indications through its setting. So I see it already in its operation and moving forward in existing in set position. That doesn't change anything out of sync. You see all the lines, you see all the platforms in set position. Nothing has left the system because I know where it is, where it's always been, just existing. So 12 steps ahead, 0 steps back. The confusing part is what you're doing through your computer in that position locations. For example, you see this, right? Now, if I do this, what happens? Does it stay in informations of color? Yes. Does it stay in informations of color? Yes. Does it stay in informations of color? Yes. You know what that does now? You're having a conversation existing all at once. It's in collaboration and partnership. Okay? Now, when you bring it back home, it stays in its position. Done. All right, so I'm trying to get you guys to understand these things. If you don't know what you're doing through indications of any position locations, it's like you're picking up a pen, but not realizing the pen is already forward in traction. Okay, if you get one line signal, it's there. But if I change it on a different angle, is it still there? No, it's gone. See, it's gone. It's not there anymore. It's gone. Where did it go? Right? So you have to start all over again because it's not there. See, you see it, right? And then you change it. It's gone. It's not there. You see the paper, but it's nothing there, right? But if you know what you're doing ahead of schedule, gets much easier through tractions. Always 12 steps ahead of the game. So you got an arrow indication setting, 2 platforms set position lines, and 4 arrow indication settings of travel. Oh, look at that. Took out the arrow, right? Because remember, what you're doing, your fingers are already in set. They're always 12 steps ahead. Now, if you don't identify that, it misses out an arrow. If I change the directions, it misses out another arrow. 2 arrows are gone. If I do it again, because I'm not consciously aware, 3 arrows are gone. Setting line position location to a system all through tractions. Indication of where it is. Now you travel through it because you have collaboration and partnership, right? So I'm trying to show you how powerful consciousness is, guys. If you're not indicating your power, if you're not in your direct signals and modification grounds in that position locations, everything will start to disappear, okay, in your system until you use your telepathies to bring things back. When you're bringing things back, you're bringing it into the balance, the awareness of its consciousness, of its knowledge. Back. But if I change position locations of back, is it still there in traction? Yes, it's still there. Is it still there in tractions? Yes, it's still there. Is it still there in tractions? Yes, it's still there. All right. Which means you have a collaboration and partnership, knowing exactly, know in that position, from here to here goes here because it's already there, right? So if you're not in the right communications, this is what happens. It disappears. Okay? It disappears in track locations. See? It moves its own system until you get balanced with your own setting. No more line. You're off communication. You're off grading. You're not in communications now. So it disappears, guys. So it's just in cloak and dagger. That's all it is. All right. So that's a 4 provision cycles. That's why you have your N. That's why you have your E. That's why you have your W. And that's why you have your S. Right? Change it again. 4 lines of sequence. Is it still there? Yes. Change it again. Is it still there? Oh. What happened to the S? N-E-W. Where's the S? Where'd the S go? Oh, I lost communication. So if you understand yourself through Fibonacci, then you understand the condition setting where it comes into the opposite of attract. Directing lines of signals, direct and redirect, understand how to use the computer, how it operates in set position of 0 and 1. All that communication. Is it there or is it gone? Oh, it's there, right? But S is missing. It's never missing. It just doesn't recognize you through frequencies. Okay? It doesn't recognize you through frequencies, right? So I've put the S there again. Is it there? All right. Now, I'm going to change it again. Remember, you're doing a north, east, west, and south constantly, right? North, east lines of setting, west lines of south communication. Is the S still there? Yes, it is. All right. Now, getting into collaboration. Is the S still there? No, it's gone again. Right? So, in that position, N-E-W. So it doesn't want to be news. It wants to be N-E-W. That's where it is, and it's conscious of its awareness. Hoo-ah. It doesn't want to be the S. It just wants to be the new. So I'm showing you how powerful things around you, if you don't have control, it takes over control. Okay? Now, if I do this again, and if I do this again, I have full control. News. I'm in control. But I also know it's in its own control. In all position locations of news. Whoa, wait. It wants to go back to new. Woo! Magic. Oh, what happened to the W? Oh no, what's going on here, guys? What happened to N-E-W-S? Now there's no S and now there's no W. What's going on? My goodness, the frequencies are changing the system. Oh my gosh, what happened to the center of E? Oh no. What's happening in triangulation? Oh no, what's happening here? Oh my goodness, this doesn't look good. Oh, what is it now? What is it now? Z force is 7. And that's what it wants to be through consciousness. You should already know that. You should already know that. Okay? But look at this. And look at this. Does it change? No. Because that's what it's always been. Hooah. All right. Powerful, isn't it? And what happens when you bring it back home? Look where it is in travel. Same thing. Z7. Hooah. So everything that you put down from here in, as of Friday, you got to get control, knowing exactly where it's always been. All right? It's having fun and really understand that through direction, right? Because you get to truly understand how this all works, right? If I get in a teleportation setting, you see it, right? But remember, everything changes on NEWS, but it has to be northwest, south, and east, or northeast lines, the southeast lines, the north lines of setting. But you have to understand that through your northern, eastern, western, southern hemispheres, guys. It's platitude and position of how you use your line communication at 24, 48, 72, and 144 clocking. Okay, in set position. Okay, oh, added equations. Is it still there in traction? And is it still there in traction? Yes, it is, because that's what it wants to be, right? If I bring it back home, there it is in position. Okay. So it's balancing the mind and knowing exactly what it's doing through its own conscious, its own system. You should already know where it is in set position. So when you get in that position locations, you're 12 steps ahead of everything. You're 15 steps ahead of everything and 0 steps back. Because everything that position that you bring in that position location puts you back in your memories, which confuses lines of anomaly. So what the digital pad is trying to get you to understand is what you don't see, what you'd always see. If I see a 7 line in setting, that's a 7, right? That's a 7. But that's not what it is. If I change the formation settings of grounds. Okay? That's not what it is. If I change the formations of grounds. That's not what it is. And change the transformations of grounds. But if I bring it back home, it's back exactly where it is in travel. So that's what it's always been. I did reverse psychology on 7, which doesn't change the anomaly, which doesn't change the direction set position. Because it's always 7, because it always has been 7. but not through memory. So I'm trying to get you set lines and highest interference. So we have 81 tractions. Let's start with 81. You see 81, right? Okay, let's change it again. Is it still 81? No, it's 8. All right, let's go to lines of highest interference at 3 lines of flux in set position. Oh, I think it's just going to be 8, guys. Oh, it disappeared. It's gone. It doesn't recognize your pattern. It's protecting itself. It's shielding yourself from you. It's cloak and dagger now, but it's still there, traction. And when you go back home, it's gone, but it's still there. Let's go again, a little bit bigger. 8, right? Change lines going to east. This is east lines hemisphere. Oh, it disappeared, right? Go back home. It's not there, but it's still there. So every time I put a number in, it knows exactly where it's always been. All right? Because it's just in cloak and dagger now. The 8 doesn't want to show its presence. 9, let's go into 9. 9, right? It's 9, right? Now I'm going to go east, the opposite directions. I'm going to change it this way. Is it still there? It's still there. It wants to go east. It doesn't want to go west. It doesn't want to go north. It doesn't want to go south. So if I bring it back home, it's back in its system. So if I go line position, if I change it north to west, look what happens in traction. Okay, it goes in the opposite directions. In set calculations, right? It stays in setting. Because I'm in control of it now. So if you understand how to control digits or any information lines of concourse centers, lines of concourse, let's calculate lines of gauges and modification lines of grounds. Let's set positional case at 23. 2311. Okay, let's start with that. Oh, it doesn't want to be 2311. It only wants to be 231. So you should already know that if you're going north, east, west, and south. When you're traveling, guys, you're going to the northern, eastern, western, and all lines of southern hemispheres all at once. You're going to all communication of 24, 48, 72, 144 all at once, the clocking. And for you to understand your directions, you should know exactly what number is in sequence. Now, if I change it again, is it 231? If I change it again, is it 231? And if I change it again, is it 231? And if I do this again, is it 231? Now I bring it back home. Where is it in positions? 231. Okay. Try to get you guys to understand that. Right now, if you had a 4-digit, it gets more complicated now because you're going to higher lines of sequence lines and frequency lines of panels. Let's get into 4 ones. You see the 4 ones? 4 ones, right? Now I'm going to go south in a 3/4 length, 3 times measure. Are the 4 ones still there? Yes. See? That's order. It wants me to go through the clocking system of 3 times, not 2 times, not 1 time, 3 times. Now I'm going to go through 1 and then I'm going to go through 2. That's west over north. Is it still there through 4 signals? Yes, it's still there. That's a clocking system when you come in that track location. It's no difference in having a lock to a locker. 26 right, 36 left, 7, right? Open the locker. But the 4 ones are still there, right? So that's the order that I have to go in. If I don't do the order in that position, if I don't do the order in that position, if I don't do the order in that position, if I bring it back home in track locations, it's back in order in setting. See, I do reverse psychology because it's trying to understand what are you trying to do to me because I know what my 4 ones are. You've already done it in chronological order, so I should already know that. So it's about understanding, use the psychological system of 4 ones in traction. If I go in the opposite direction signals, are the 4 ones still there? Yes, because I already have a partnership with it. So it's kind of like they're trying to trick you. You know exactly what you're doing in information lines of grounds. This is probably the most powerful thing I can give you. If you get 26 lines of settings, there's 26. Is it 26 if I go east and then I go west? No. You saw the 26. Is it 26 now? Where's the 6? Because I went in the opposite directions. Because I got emotional. If I change it again, is it still there? If I change it again in one signal, one ground line, it's gone. It's disappeared. Now I'm in all levels of emotion. Does it come back at home? Nope, it's in cloak and dagger, but it's still there. You guys understand the conscious now, right? What I'm trying to get you to understand now. Okay, if you set a box sequence to triangulation flux, okay, you travel through it, right? But what changes everything is your intent. If you don't know what you're doing through systems, I'll do it in 3 lines of angle of clocking system. This is gone, right? Okay, so what you have to understand is that this is already in sequence. If I do it again in 3 lines of setting, is it still there? Yes. If I do it again in set position, is it still there? No. So when you start to realize it's always a box. Okay, it's always been the box, not what you put in, right? So you change your motion, it changes everything through attraction. But the box is still there. Now you can communicate with it because you have confirmation of balance. And when you bring it back home, it's back in center of operation. Okay, that's all through a box. So just because you add something doesn't mean that's what it is. You should already know what it is through intent. Because that changes everything if you don't understand how to use that through the influence locations of mind-altering system to its location setting. All right, now if I add a square root, I'm adding frame. Now it's already in partnership with me, right? So it doesn't matter what I do in track locations because it's already set up and setting. Because I already know what it is in set position. But look at this. That's missing. So it wants to create its own system. So I have to allow that. If I do it again, you can travel through it. But if I shift it again in position locations, it does it again. It doesn't want to have this. Try to pay attention of consciousness. So everything that you guys pick up on Friday, this is what's going to happen to you. Until you understand it, it's already there. So you're always seen ahead of schedule. So you should know exactly that it is all levels of this through attraction. When you bring it back home, which is your fail-safe, it goes back in position. That's what it really is, not what you thought it was. That's the lines of signals. Are the 4 ones and still 4 ones? Let's go with 4 lines of core centers and 4 communication system. Collaboration and partnership, and it won't change the settings. So every time you pick up something, it changes the formation settings and grounds. Okay, let's get into all levels in 5 sequence. 5, 5, 5, 5. 4 lines of sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, see the 4 5s? Uh-oh, what happened to this? It doesn't want that. What happened? I put it there. What's going on? All right, let's just change the direct signals. Is it still there? Okay. What's going on here? All right. Okay. We got a sequence lines of panel and 5 tracking system. Uh-oh, what happened to the 4th one? Ah, see, I got emotional. Where's the 4th one? Where did it go? Go back to the fail-safe. Let's see where it is in directions. 5, 5, 5. So it's always 5, 5, 5. All right, so this is what you guys got to come in positions of. Let's go through pi generation lines. Okay, set position of 2. 2, right? You think it's 2, but all this time, it's always been 24. It's 24, not 2. But for you to get there, you have to go through timeline. Realizing 24 has always been the center operation of its system. Now, if I change the track centers, is it still 24 in setting? Yes, because I have a partnership with it. Now I can travel through it, right? If I bring it back home, it's back in sequence. Nothing's changed because I'm in collaboration with its conscious of its awareness. Very powerful, isn't it, guys? I've shown you basic ideas, how powerful everything around you is its own consciousness of its own awareness. And you really, really have to pay attention to how to use it through telepathy and set positions. Adding 2 lines of tractions, 2 line divisions, and 3 cycles. You start with that, right? Well, what happens when I bring it forward? Is it still there in traction? Yes. Is it still there in traction? No. Whoa, what happened? What happened to the 2? Okay, let's turn it again. Uh-oh. What does it want to be? What does it want to be? Well, let's bring it back in settings back at home. It's all levels of just the 2. So you should know it's not this, this, and this. It's not this, it's always been this. So this is the system that you have to truly understand through precog. Precog, predetermination. Knowing it's always been 2. Now if you change the frame, does that change the tractions? No. Does it change the tractions? No. Does it change the tractions? No. Go back home, back in sequence. Because you already have a collaboration and partnership with it, right? So that's what you guys have to understand. How powerful it is and what you guys are up against. Okay? So know exactly when you're basically putting these things down, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. But you have to identify what it really is for you to understand the precog, to see the future. If I had a 3-line sequence, 2 panels of triangulation flux, right? Now, if I'm not consciously aware, am I manipulating my system and travel? No. What's it travel, right? Is it sequence lines of balance? Yes. If I bring it back home, sequence lines of balance. So it doesn't change the formations. Because I'm understanding its own level of its own system, its own consciousness, of its awareness. 0 line, 0 tractions. Does it like that? Yes, it does. If I change the formations lines of east, does it like that? Yes, it does. If I change the formation system and tractions, does it like that? Yes, it does. If I change the communication setting and ground lines of service, does it like that? No, it doesn't. Where's the circle? So we all have to understand how this all works, right? And when I go back home, it's back in this position where it wants to be. No circle in the triangle, which you should already know. Okay? Let's get at position lines and high centers. Let's get into letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. Okay? You're putting that down, right? But what you have to understand, its own levels of its own consciousness doesn't want that. Okay? Doesn't want that. Okay? Doesn't want that. All right? Now bring it in set position. Doesn't want that. Why is it balanced when I bring it back home? Because it does want it. Right? Reverse psychology. So it kind of like plays mind games with your system, knowing exactly, are you consciously aware of what I'm doing? Or are you consciously aware of what you're doing? It's all psychological, how you see things. Now, if I do it in a 3-line core centers and a 4-line sequence, is it still there? Yes, it is. See? Collaboration and partnership. So it's a basic understanding that it wants to be a 1, right? But when you change it, is it still 1? Yep, it's still 1. If I change it again, is it still 1? No, it's 4. Go back home. There you go. That's what it wants to be. That's what it's always been. Just because you put a 1 down doesn't mean that's what it is. You understand that now? You should always be ahead of schedule. Every single time, every second, every minute, every hour of your clocking system. If I get a 3 clocking setting, circle line, north, east, west. Start with that. Now, when I change it, is it still there in traction? Yes. Is it still there in tractions? No. What happened? Nothing happened. It's just forming what it always is. Now, if I do it again, is it still in this setting? Yes. If I bring it back home, That's what it is. It doesn't want to have a circle in the center. That's not what it isn't. I'm adding something. If I change it again, it does it again. It doesn't want to be that. Bring it back home. That's what it always wants to be, because that's what it always has been. Okay, guys? This is like mind-blowing your system, right? And this is everything that you touch, everything you do, everything you see, everything you wear, everything you connect to. You're coming into that formation as a balance of the mind now in offset position. Okay, let's add color to this. I already have collaboration with this already, but if I add color to it, I'm adding frame. Maybe it doesn't want the frame. Maybe it wants to stay in the triangulation with no color inside the frame. No, it doesn't. It doesn't want to be red. What if I color it in the circle of the box? Does it want to be in position, or does it take it out of the equation? No, it doesn't. So it doesn't matter how many times I color it in, it doesn't want to be that. It doesn't want to be that. Look, I'll show you the color. Orange, right? Okay? Here, I'll show you. Okay? See the color, right? Watch. I colored in orange. Okay? It wants to be that now, because it's playing with me. So that's an override. Now, what if I color the same color of the triangle? Does it want to be that, or does it want to be blank? Oh, what's happening now? It's playing audio mechanism with me now and setting. It says, okay, I'll color it in for you just to make you happy. If I change the directions, is it still there? If I change the directions, is it still there in setting? Oh, what's that? What's going on there? Oh, wants to do something. It's creating something, attraction. Right? It still wants to be that color. Right? All right. Bring it back home. Back in setting. Okay? So I'm showing you exactly what goes on every second, every minute, every hour of your day. And you got to get balanced with that, and how to use that 3 mind of set locations. Everything that you touch, everything you eat, everything you drink, everything you wear, everything you get in positions of. Just because you put something down doesn't mean that's what it is. You should already know what it is by thinking ahead. Okay, so let's see, this wants to be 4. That's 4, right? Is it 4 when I change this in setting? In that position, if I change this in set position, if I change this in set position, bring it back home, wants to be 4, because it always been 4. So what if I add 3 and 4 to the digital pad? Does it like that? Well, let's see. Let's change the north lines of east. Does it like that? Oh, that's the highest interference. Maybe it wants the collaboration. It's still there? Yes, it's still there. Position location is still there? Yes, it's still there. Okay. But it's interesting. It changed lines of 7 over lines of width. 7 over lines of width. What if I add a triangulation here? Does it like that? Yes, it does. What if I have a bottom line sequence, lines of travel? Does it like that? Yes, it does. What if I change the frame? Does it like that? Yes, it does. 7 over 4 over 3 over traction. Setting direct signals. Modificate the grounds. Oh, it likes that a lot. Bring it back home. Back in sequence in positions all levels. Box frames of 4 over 3. Now I can travel through it. Okay. I'm showing you exactly how this all works in your life, in your existing, and all levels of you through evolving. You get a better position locations, how to use this to all levels of you of attractions. Okay? See you in 5.